Hi everybody, it's Brian from Cruisin with the Colemans, and today we have a Cooking with the Colemans segment for you. We're going to show you how to make keto Scotch eggs. These are a delicious snack item. They're good for a snack, they're good for breakfast, they're good for lunch. Heck, we've even made them with a salad and had them for dinner. So we're going to start off by hard boiling 6 eggs. By the way, this is going to serve anywhere from 3 to 6 people. We normally plan 1 to 2 eggs per person. So 6 eggs would in theory serve 3 people. Just depends on how big of an eater you are. So I've got 6 eggs in here. I'm gonna fill this pot up with water. I want about 1 inch of water over the top of my eggs. If your eggs kind of want to float a little bit, that's not a problem. If they float completely, that's a problem. So those 2 eggs that are floating completely, I'm gonna get rid of. That means they're a little old. They're probably not bad, but at the same time, we don't want to get anybody sick. If they stand up on their edge, that's okay. Older eggs are actually a little bit easier to peel when you're hard boiling. If your eggs are super, super fresh and they sink straight to the bottom, they might be hard to peel. I'm gonna take this, by the way, this egg timer, perfect. Put it in there, put the lid on, put these on the stove, bring the water to a rolling boil, then turn it off and watch my egg timer. I'm gonna cook these to medium. While my eggs are cooking, I'm gonna start out and get my sausage ready. So I've got a pound of breakfast sausage here. I've divided it into 6 equal portions, and I did weigh it just to make sure. Now I'm gonna take each of these portions and use a rolling pin. You could also use a can or something like that, or sometimes I just do this in my hand. But I'm gonna roll these out so that I've got 6 little patties of sausage. I've got my sausage all spread out here. Now with each one of these, I'm gonna dress them and get them ready. So I've got a half a cup of Parmesan cheese, and I'm just gonna sprinkle a little bit of that on each one. I've got 1 teaspoon of onion powder, and if that seems like a lot, it kind of is, but I'm gonna use a good hefty pinch on each one of these. And then I'm gonna take whatever's left and I'm gonna throw it here in my breading, which we'll talk about in just a minute. Next thing I need is just to give each one a little crack of black pepper. And now those are ready to put the eggs on once they're finished cooking. Now it's time to put together our breadcrumb mixture. Normally Scotch eggs are breaded with breadcrumbs that are seasoned, but because we're doing this as keto, we're gonna use pork rinds. So I just took pork rinds, put them in the food processor to grind them up into a breadcrumb texture. I've got about 3/4 of a cup of breadcrumbs here. I added the last of this onion powder that I didn't use. It was probably about 1/4 teaspoon or so. I'm gonna add about 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese and just kind of mix it all together. And when I make my Scotch eggs, I'll be ready to roll them in this mixture. My eggs are all finished, and I've got them kind of to a medium boil. Now that's because we are gonna recook the whole thing, obviously for the sausage. So we don't want them overcooked to start with. Even if you don't like a runny yolk in your eggs, you still don't wanna cook them all the way to a full hard boil. So now I'm gonna peel these eggs, and as I peel each one, I'm just gonna place them onto the sausage patties. And then when I'm all done, I'll show you how to wrap them up. As you finish peeling each egg, make sure you rinse it off really well. You certainly do not want a little bite of eggshell in that egg when you get to it. And if they don't peel pretty, if they peel a little bit funny, that's okay, because you're never gonna see it since it's all inside of that sausage mixture. All right, now I've got my breading ready. I've got my pan ready. And I'm gonna take each of these eggs and just peel my little sausage mixture up and kind of wrap it around the egg. And we want to make sure we seal it. If the sausage rips, that's okay. Just push it back together and get the whole thing sealed around the egg. If the egg is a little bit drier, it will stick better. If your egg is wet, that's going to be a problem. Don't forget to bread them. Now, you can do them without the breading if you don't want the breading. You can do them just plain. really love this breading though. Once I've got them all wrapped up, if I have any breading left over, I just kind of re-roll anything that might look a little bare and make sure I get all that good breading on there because, I mean, hello, it's gonna be delicious. Now, these are going to go into the air fryer. Yep, you heard it right, the air fryer. And they're gonna bake at 375 degrees for about 10 minutes. While my eggs are in the air fryer, it's time to make the dipping sauce. I have here about 1/2 cup of mayonnaise. We like the olive oil mayonnaise, but you can use whatever your favorite is. If you wanted to make your own mayonnaise, you could certainly do that too. I've got 3 tablespoons of whole grain spicy brown mustard. If you prefer Dijon, you could use that. If you're trying to go keto, definitely would not do a honey type mustard. And I have 1 teaspoon of lemon juice. I'm gonna put that in there, along with 1/2 teaspoon of dried dill. So that's about 1/2 teaspoon. A couple of cracks of black pepper. And just mix all that up together. Notice I did not add any salt to this. With the pork rinds and the Parmesan cheese that we put in there, probably not gonna need any salt, but you can always sprinkle a little on as you're eating them if you decide you need it. All right, we're gonna stick this back in the refrigerator so it gets good and cold, and we'll be ready to eat in just a few minutes. They are all finished. If they break open while you're cooking, it just means that you didn't seal your sausage real well. Not the end of the world. They're still gonna taste just as delicious. So I'm gonna take one of these here, put it on a plate, give it a little bit of sauce. If you wanna get super fancy, you can also give it just a little bit of dried parsley over the top, or even some fresh parsley. You could also give it a little squirt of fresh lemon if you wanted. And there it is, delicious and ready to eat. Michelle, are you ready to eat?
I am definitely ready.
We're gonna cut it open. You see how even with a medium egg, my egg is still completely done right now. And beer's steaming hot. I don't know that you wanna bite into this right now. We're doing brunch today, so we made some mockmosas. Check out that video if you want to see how to make them. Nobody's got time to wash champagne glasses, so we're just using a juice glass. But here you go. Enjoy.
Enjoy. Thank you.